Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Blissful cooking class. I sure hope that our technical issues are better today. Let's hope. We are going to be doing another Ottolenghi recipe, a really beautiful summery one today. It's an eggplant and mango soba noodle salad with this lovely tangy dressing with chili and garlic and rice vinegar and then tons of herbs at the end. I think it's going to be wonderful. I hope you really enjoy it. But before we get started, let's do our breathing. Let's ground ourselves. Let's come into this moment, honor the space for what it is, this beautiful therapeutic experience, this opportunity to connect with ourselves and create bliss. Or not create bliss, actually. Bliss is actually our natural way of being, but rather for us to come into our awareness of the bliss that is always there in our bodies, there and ready to support us. Okay. So let's close our eyes and tune into our breathing. And let's slow the breathing down and really melt into our bodies. Allow ourselves to feel a little heavy, really loose. Melt the face, the jaw. Allow it to be hang a little loose. Think about the space between the eyebrows. Allow it to loosen and hang. Let the shoulders be heavy. And just rest into the stability of the floor, the ground beneath us. And we're going to take a deep inhale together. Slow it down and sip the breath slowly, making the sound like the sound of the ocean inside our mouth, inside our head. We can hear it. And just a brief pause at the peak and exhale slowly. Also allowing the exhale to have that ocean-like quality to it. On our next inhale, let's fill ourselves all the way up, feeling the air, the prana, all the way up into our torso, all the way up to the tip top of our head and beyond. Pause at the peak and exhale. Let's feel it just emptying out all the way and really pressing the air out all the way down into our pelvic floor, using our low ab muscles to push it all out, completely empty. Pause. And then refill. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, Let's bring our hands up to heart center on Jali Mudra, and let's set our intention for our class, our time together today. Okay, hands can come down, eyes gently open. I'm just going to check. I don't see any messages on the screen saying we're having horrible issues, so let's hope that all is well. Unfortunately, I can't really tell. Here's hoping that the sound is good and there's no delays today. All right, so we're going to start with the dressing. And so we're going to take some rice vinegar. I believe the recipe calls for half a cup. I don't think I have quite half a cup here, but I'm going to use exactly what I have. And I'm putting it in this pot because we're going to dissolve some sugar and salt into it. So we just need to warm it up to do that. Yeah, I don't think I have enough rice vinegar, and I do want to have a decent amount. So I'm actually going to just substitute with a little bit. This is a bit weird. A little bit, not too much because it's so strong, of this apple cider vinegar. Just a little bit more. And then I think it's a teaspoon or so of salt. I'm just going to use my fingers. Oh, wait. I have really done it to myself. I put sugar and salt right next to each other. Even those of us who are very experienced can make obvious comical errors. So this is sugar. I can already tell from the way that it feels in my fingers. So I need actually 3 teaspoons, I believe, of this. So we're doing sugar. And now we're doing salt. Yep. So interesting. I hadn't kind of excited about this little mistake because it made me realize how different sugar and salt feel. Sugar is so much softer, this fine-grained, granulated sugar. And then my fine sea salt, even though it's fine, it's like much harder. That's so interesting, actually. I'm going to put the sugar far away from the salt. So funny. Okay. And so now I'm going to put this on the heat. And I'm just going to let it, I'm putting it at a medium heat. I'm just going to let it come to, actually, I'm going to turn it all the way up so we can just get some bubbles happening. And I'm just looking for a few bubbles so that the sugar and salt dissolve. I'm not trying to do anything else, but just allow that process to unfold. And so I'm going to just grab a couple cloves of garlic here. We've got a really little one, so let's do a bigger one. Big one, little one. We're going to put that raw garlic in afterwards. Some zest and some chili and a little sesame oil. Oh, wonderful. How about you? But I really needed that breathing. Oh, I'm just going to keep trying to breathe as we go through this. I've got a lot of big emotional stuff happening at the moment. So I'm feeling that. I don't know about you. We all have our things going on. And just try to remember to breathe and keep melting, That melting feeling is really where I'm wanting to be soft, to feel the feeling of softness and just allow life to come through me. And then as I allow life to come through me, I get the information I need about what it is that I should actually do. That's the thing about sort of big emotional situations. There's always this intensity, at least in my case, I always feel this, like, oh my gosh, what should I do? Like, I need to figure it out right away. But so often figuring it out happens after you allow yourself to feel and have all the information. And that part can be hard. So I'm just doing that right now. Okay, we have bubbling over here, but you can see the sugar has not dissolved yet. So I'm just going to swirl it a few times and then turn it down so it doesn't get too wild. And I'm going to finally chop this garlic. I think in the recipe actually just says to crush it and put it in there. Maybe that's just to get the flavor. But I am going to finely chop. What a nice little sound. And I'm going to put it in this measuring cup over here because we're going to put the hot vinegar straight into here. And do that, and then a little bit of chili. It says a red chili. I have a jalapeno, so that's what we're going to use. Could also do some chili sauce, like I think, ooh, yeah, like a sambal oelek would be really nice in this. To be honest, like maybe I'll just do a little bit of that and then a bit of green chili. I think I'm going to do that. I will report back. I think that goes really nicely with all the flavors. Okay, we have, yes, we have liftoff. Liftoff meaning, what an experience. Hot vinegar straight up the old nostrils. Wow. That is a profound experience. If I wasn't feeling alive before, I was. I'm feeling double alive now. Holy, that was amazing. But this is what we're in it for, to experience everything that is happening around us. Wow. Choppity chop. Jalapeno. Now I'm really pushing it. I still have vinegar wafting through me, and then I just put a giant bunch of chilies up my nose. Just living life over here. Wow. Okay. Zest and juice of 1 lime. Wow. You guys, don't you wish I could just get rid of this light? I really do. I don't have it on, and yet it's in the way. Very annoying to me. Zest. Now we have some more wonderful aroma joining the party. Oh, wow. This is already fantastic. Using my handy microplane. That's my favorite thing for zesting. So recommend getting one of these. I think they're like $10, $12, really inexpensive. And they're so, I use mine constantly. Like I don't have a lot of kitchen gadgets. You know, I get by with a knife, a microplane, spatulas for stirring, and then spatulas like the kind that you flip things with, tongs, a sieve. But I really don't have like a ton of specialty gadgets, but this is so wonderful. I use it all the time for this and for Parmesan, for hard cheeses. It's just invaluable to me. So now we're gonna get the juice in here. So quiet. Gosh, that quiet is nice. It's actually fascinating. I think there's something so unnerving sometimes about quiet, especially I'll say here in the city, Because it's so rarely quiet. It feels at once so precious, like, oh, it's about to be interrupted. And so you're only thinking about it's about to be interrupted. But also just to be quiet for a moment is such a gift. Wow. Okay, line done. And that's it for that. We're gonna now just add in our warm rice vinegar. Look at that. And just a little bit, we finish with just a wee bit of sesame oil as well. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my goodness, this smells wonderful. This is exciting. I'm gonna taste it. It's delicious. That's exciting. Cool. Can't wait. So I'm gonna fill that up again with water so that we can cook our soba noodles. So we have a beautiful sauce dressing. I'm going to just put it off camera over here. And then I'm going to get this boiling in the background. Get a little salt in there. Where is my lid? Ah, over here. Cool. And let's check out what these say in terms of 4 minutes. Okay, so these are pretty quick cooking. I'm going to open this so that they're ready. I'm going to do all 3 of these. Little bundles. Might be a little much for this pan, or this little pot, but that's what's happening. Sorry, everybody. Okay, and now the eggplant. So in Ottolenghi's recipe, he suggests like a deep frying method for the eggplant, which is wonderful, and you can totally follow that guideline if you're into that. I'm not saying like deep fried eggplant, delicious, incredible. However, I just really don't like using so much oil, not from a like nutrition perspective actually, but just from a like, it's just so much. And it's a whole thing that I don't particularly enjoy. And maybe we'll do a deep frying thing for you guys sometime. I'd be happy to, especially if you're interested in learning the process. I'd be so happy to. It's not that it's undoable. It's just that for me, I don't really like it. And I think it's perfectly fine. It's just like deep frying at home is not for me. Like I'm going to have deep fried things. We'll go to a restaurant. That's just how I feel. But I'd be happy to show you guys the method if anyone is really, really wanting to learn that. So I'm just cubing it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to shallow fry it in a pan. And we're going to get lots of beautiful caramelization this way as well, without just using so much oil and it being, and just needing, it's like, and then you have to like cool it down. You need to get to the right temperature. And it's a lot of stuff I just don't particularly enjoy. I'm going to grab this bowl. I'm going to use this again to mix everything. But for now, I'm going to put the eggplant in here. I'm going to salt it a little bit as I go along, just to get some of the moisture out so it can cook better. This is something that's nice to do with eggplant because it does have so much moisture in it. It's like this little sponge. And sometimes a lot of people will actually, before cooking, set it aside and salt it and like even press down on it to remove some of the liquid. That's wonderful if you have the time or the energy for that. But it's okay to do it this way too. Let's add a little bit more salt. And I think if you're also not a big eggplant fan, this might be a nice recipe for you. I mean, I guess it's a little intense, like very eggplant forward. So maybe if you're not so sure about it, it's not the best place to start. But I would say, I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised by this. It's going to be really sweet. And the texture will be really fun. And there's just going to be all these other textures going on. And so many different flavors from the herbs and everything. Oh, I have salt on my fingers. Mm. Slicing through the eggplant. Inhale, slice. Exhale, slice. Inhale. Actually, exhale. Now inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just continuing to let my body relax. All right, I'm gonna add a little more salt. And then I'm gonna mix it all up for the salt, really, just to, okay. And it called for 2 eggplants, but I got one really big one, and I'm kind of messing around with everything. So I'm doing one big eggplant, and I'm gonna do 2 mangoes instead of 1, because I wanted to. Okay, so we're gonna get some heat happening here, and I'm gonna use quite a bit of sunflower oil. It's really coating the pan, probably about a 1/4 cup. Eggplant down. Oh, and I want to talk about in the recipe, they call for cilantro and basil. I actually couldn't find any basil, and this is not an herb, but I got a bunch of pea shoots, which are like the part of the pea plant, and I'm going to use those instead. I'm going to chop a bunch of those up. And then I also didn't have a red onion, hilariously, so we're going to do scallions instead. So those are all my little substitutions. You do whatever works for you, but you can try this too if that's what you would like. Let this get nice and hot. I'm probably going to need to do this in a couple batches, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I might also, maybe while I'm waiting for that to get hot, I can start cutting the mango. So the way I'm going to do this is the pit is right through the middle of the mango. And so I'm finding the space just beside it. I'm going to slice along it. And sometimes you hit it, that's okay. And sometimes you're far away from it. But so there's like one nice cheek of the mango. That worked beautifully. How wonderful for my demonstration purposes. We can see just through here is the pit. And I'm going to do it same on the other side to find this middle spot. And then slice it like that. And then I'm going to cut those parts off and then cut off the skin here. You could use a smaller knife for this, actually. It's kind of nice to use a paring knife for this. I just didn't bother. And so now we cut around the pit. So it's right through here. I'll show you. So I just take the pieces off. This is really nice and ripe. So wonderful to demonstrate with. I often, when I just cut this up for eating, my daughter is a huge mango fan, so I cut these up constantly. But when I cut up for eating, I'll cut these up and then I'll just eat this. Like, gnaw on it like a little squirrel. I don't think squirrels eat mangoes, actually. So that's probably not a good example, but it feels like that. A little creature, anyway. And that's how you can get the most off of it. It's actually a lot easier than using the knife. So that's about what I'm going to be bothered to get here today. And then, oh wow, such a good mango. Fantastic. Praise everybody. Everything. Major moment of gratitude for this here mango. Oh my gosh. So good. Okay. One mango. And I'm starting to smell, okay, we have boiling over here. We're boiling over here, and we have definitely a nice hot pan over here. So I'm going to get the eggplant in. Woo. Yeah. We're going to do about half of this, and then we'll do the other half. And then in the meantime, I'm going to do the soba noodles. One beautiful little bundle. It's Japanese soba noodles. So pretty and cute. I love the way that they put them in these sort of, this is a serving size bundles. 1, 2, 3, yeah. It's probably a bit of a goofy choice for me to do this in such a small amount of water, but it's fine. Okay, I'm going to set the timer for 4 minutes because that's what it's saying. I'm just moving the eggplant around just to check on the bottom. I can see a little bit of browning happening. Well, we need another bowl to remove the eggplant into. And I am gonna switch to a paring knife because I'm realizing that's what I need for this mango. And so now what I like to do, and this is the way that I just always serve it to my daughter. So this is like my tendency. So I do this very classic method where I slice all the way through just up to the skin. And I go whoop, 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 and then make a little checkerboard pattern. Then if I was serving this to my daughter or myself, I would push on the outside and just pop it all out. And then she goes, nom, 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 nom. But since we want these little cubes, I'm actually going to now slice them as close to the skin as I can get. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I'm hearing some exciting noises behind me. It's sort of making me want to check on it, but oh yeah, because we're boiling over a little bit. I'm going to turn it down. So I'm doing this in kind of a goofy way. You may want to make a different choice. Use a bigger pot. Use a bigger pot. Learn from my mistake. I unfortunately am just in this funny space where I have like a tiny pot or a really big pot. I need a medium pot. let's check on the eggplant because we hear a lot of sizzling. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. This is just boiling over. And the eggplant is getting brown, lovely, and gushy, like really softening, which is what we want. Very much what we want. Sort of begins to like fall apart. And it's so delicious. That's why eggplant alla norma, or pasta alla norma, meaning pasta with eggplant, is basically this like melted eggplant into tomato sauce with the pasta, and it's so nice. So I think this is going to be sort of similar to that, just with, you know, the sweetness coming from the mango and the browning that we have occurring there instead of from tomatoes. And then all this brightness from all these herbs and the vinegar and the sharpness from the lime and the chilies. It's going to be pretty spectacular, I think. And of course we have a slightly different texture. The soba noodles, made with buckwheat instead of just your usual pasta. So now I am bringing this over to the sink. I'm grabbing a sieve and I am going to pour these noodles over top of the sieve. And that's that. And just let them be. Turn off this burner. Quick check on the eggplant. Doing beautifully. Wonderful. Yeah. No. Still need this over here. Okay. There's a few moving parts to this recipe, like all Ottolenghi recipes. There's a lot going on, and yet I think this one is reasonably simple in my view. It's really cook the noodles, chop up the stuff, make the dressing. And then these larger pieces of mango that I cut off the pit, I'm just going to quickly chop into smaller pieces that we can enjoy in the salad. And some of the bigger pieces I'm just cutting up a little. Well, it's not so bad to have a big old piece of mango, in my opinion. So here we go. Once again, just trying to find where the core is. These are such nice mangoes. Wow. Oh, I think this is a different kind. Ooh, baby. Yes, I think I grabbed two different kinds. Oh my gosh. This one just has a totally different aroma. Both, like, they're both amazing. This one's a little bit more sort of vegetal. Oh my gosh. Wow. In my mind, I'm like sending text messages to my friends who shop at the same co-op grocery store that I shop at, and be like, get the mangoes this week. They're so good. You need to remember to do that. You know, you got to help a friend out. Find out about a good deal and a delicious thing. Sometimes right around the pit, it can be kind of woody. As you can see, there's like these little bits. And that's where I always feel like, just eat it. I'm going to call this the mango episode. Mango eating class. lessons in how to devour with gusto and utter pleasure mango. Now this has a really different texture, a really different flavor. This one is really perfectly ripe, so easy to work with. This one is a little bit, has fibers coming through it. And so the texture isn't as good, and it's a tiny bit overripe, but it is delicious, like flavor-wise. Just top-notch situation. And this might, you might be watching this going like, wow, that's some like handy dandy knife work. And I will admit, like, this does take a little bit more dexterity and confidence to do what I'm doing here. You can slow it down, take your time. And the sizzling that I'm hearing behind me makes me think that I want to check on our eggplant buddies again. I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. Okay, and throw some little cold water over our soba noodles here, just to make sure that they don't end up in a big clump. Woo! Wow. Okay. Yeah, because these eggplants are looking, wow. Oh yeah, I'm so glad we left them for a little while. Cool. I'm just gonna salt them a little bit more. Another minute and they're gonna be good. By the time we are done with this eggplant or mango, the eggplant will be done. Okay. Gorgeous. I'm going to remove, so I'll show you in a sec. Woo! And I'm using this slotted spatula because that way the oil sort of falls through, because I don't want like a ton of oil. These already take on quite a bit, which is fine, which is yummy. I'm going to add the rest. And it is spitting a little bit, this because of the moisture that the eggplant gives out. So be very careful. A little bit more salt. Wonderful. Okay. So check this out, guys. Look how beautiful this eggplant is. And as it sets up, right now it's kind of mushy, but as it sets up, these parts are going to get a little bit crispy on this side. Hot. Hot. Not too hot though, but so good. Wow. The char flavor is beautiful. I'm so happy with how that turned out. Wonderful. And so, okay, we're going to take, we have our nice big bowl, which is where our salad's going to live. And we'll put the soba noodles in before they like, oh, yeah, they're already starting to set up. So annoying. I love soba noodles, but they're like the rice noodles we did the other week, and like they can get really sticky together-y. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm actually, to prevent that right now, I'm going to add a little bit of our sauce just for moisture. And get that all in here. About half of it I've added in. Oh, it smells magnificent. All right. And we can get the mango in here since it's ready. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why not? And actually the eggplant too. You guys, this is great. I am super into this. How beautiful. So fun. Okay. Doing great on the eggplant. Give it a little flippy flip. And so you could see what we're going for. I didn't really know how much time it took for them to get to this place. I think I would say it's at least 10 minutes, maybe 15. And now I get rid of this paring knife. Wash my hands. Wash my board. And it's herbs and onions time. So in the recipe, he calls for basically you add like half of the herbs now, and then like you can leave it for a couple hours, and then you can serve it and then add the herbs at the end. And I am actually just going to have a little bit right now, and then I'm going to have more later. So I am going to just do that. I'm just going to add some of the herbs. And then when I make a bowl for myself, I'll maybe add a little bit more. But so I'm going to take some of my pea shoots here, and I'm just going to chop them small enough so that it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a big hunk of, like a long piece like that would be not so nice. And then cilantro. I'm just grabbing it and then running my knife through it. Oh, the aroma. Woo. And if you're not a cilantro person, you can use flat leaf parsley. And of course, basil, as he suggests. Fabulous. I would think about, I might later, we'll see how I'm feeling, add some more of the jalapeno. I'm going to add a couple of scallions here instead of the red onion. I actually think this is kind of a good substitution. I'm not a huge raw onion gal myself, although I'm sure it's good in this, and with all the rice vinegar, I bet it like pickles it so that it's quite nice. I would expect it's a wonderful thing. I just don't have that, so I'm not going to do it today. And this works very well. So I am getting rid of the papery outside of the scallions. Feeling so grateful for this recipe, the opportunity to do this with you guys today. And this wonderful recipe and some amazing mangoes. I'm gonna put I'm just going to slow myself down because we're almost done here. There's no need to rush. just found a little bit that I don't want to eat. Add that in. Wow. All these, it's just like one good thing on top of another thing on top of another good thing. Wow. Oh, heavy. That's fun, actually. My salad is so heavy. Eggplant just needs a couple more minutes here. You'll notice it went a little faster the second round, and that's just because the heat was just so consistent. The pan is so hot, so it just goes a little faster the second round. That's why working in a restaurant is so lovely and efficient, and they can sometimes get things done so fast. You're like, how do they do that? And it's because they always have the stuff going, so it just makes everything go a little quicker. It's not all this waiting around for it to juice up. Oh my gosh. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Well, I hope you're going to make it so that you can smell it, because this is incredibly fun. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to add the rest of our beautiful dressing. Oh, wow. I'm like having a moment with this salad. This is amazing. I'm going to get myself a plate. And I think, yeah, we're going to call these eggplant pieces done. I'll turn off the heat. Oh, and quiet again. Quiet once again in Brooklyn. Look at it. I can feel the heat rising off of it. Oh, straight into the salad. Gorgeous. And give it a mix. And I'm gonna just put some on the plate for myself so you can see. So I've got a big old thing of noodles. Yeah. And it's a little hard to mix it all up. It's always like that thing that happens with a noodle salad where the middle is a little more noodly and then there's all these bits on the side. But so I just like to make sure I grab some of the eggplant and the mango. Oh, I mean, picturesque, am I right? Should we just make like noodly salads with delicious things in them for the entire summer? Maybe it's a good idea. I don't know. I'm just going to put a few more bits of cilantro in there before I dig into this. You guys, I'm so excited. And yeah, I think he says like, let it get cold because it'd be lovely cold. But I think it's also going to be lovely a little warm here. Cold soba noodles are really special. So this is absolutely something. It's so nice to make ahead and have to pull out of the fridge. I've got mango. I've got soba noodles. I'm going to get, don't have quite enough eggplant. It's fabulous. It's really as good as I was hoping. I love the spiciness, the sweetness. The texture is really fun. It's just wonderful. It was really a pleasure to make and to look at. I think the bright mangoes and the bright green and the dark charred eggplant and the brown is all beautiful. And every moment of it was lovely. So thank you for sharing that with me. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. And of course, please let me know anything else you're interested in making. And we will just keep going, keep going, keep going. Tell your friends. If you enjoy this, please do pass it along. I'd really love to get to the point where we have enough people that I can hire someone to come and take video for us. And then they could be like following me around and really show more detail, which I think would be wonderful if possible. But yes, thank you so much for being a part of this. I appreciate you all so very much, and see you next time.